Hello, Targar friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And today is Max Effort Squat Day. And just a reminder for those of you who watch these videos every day, please click like down below before we watch the max. You have to keep the likes higher than the dislikes, and only you guys can make that happen. And I've noticed that as you guys work on getting them higher, the dislike bot goes higher too, trying to keep up. So you guys keep up the good work and make them work for it. The more engagements I get off of both, the more money I make, so it's appreciated. Now, over to the squatting. The 11-inch box today, which you guys, most people can tell, this is way below parallel. This is deeper than my previous box squats, which is why we're doing it. So yes, it's going to be a little less weight. All right, I'm working with, sometimes 25, 30 pounds less than I was doing on the higher box. That extra little bit of height makes a big difference. Plus, I'm using a little bit wider stance because I do want to work more on wider stance squats to get deeper when I go back to my normal back squats. And on these, I've been getting up to 475 plus the change of the bands. But notice every little rotation, we add a little bit, right? It was 30 pounds of bands last time. The time before was 33 pounds of chains. Now we did 43 pounds of chains. And I'm going to keep it going. And I've had some people say who saw this earlier because I put the max up separate. They're like, you probably could have gone 10 pounds heavier. Yeah, I probably could have. But it would have been grindy. Right? Would have been grindy. Because you guys saw my 502 on this with no chains or bands. Remember when I did the 502? And it was grindy and it looked a little rough off the steep box. So that's an all-out like competition max for me. That's like grindy. It was all I had. Whereas in the 482 without any bands or chains was clean. So I'm not wanting to push these to the bleeding edge yet. Now we will, and we're going to want to start hitting big PRs on it. But I think for now, I want to just keep trying to get to a good max to where we're not seeing a lot of form breakdown. Maybe the heaviest weight I can handle without the form breaking down much, and occasionally I'll push one all the way. And I want to see if I can keep adding bands and chains back and forth and keep working the weight up and keep hitting that same weight, right? So that we get used to more and more weight at the top or midway in at the lockout off of that lower box. And just keep bringing it home. And we keep working on all the hypertrophy work. Because what we also have to remember, we do the maxes and then we do all the hypertrophy work to make everything grow behind it. And my volume is really high. It's really high right now. We're doing a lot of exercises after. It is a lot of volume because we're only doing 4 real days of training. 2 bench days and then a squat and a deadlift day. And my squat and deadlift accessories are the same because I want to build both and get enough muscle growth, so I want everything to get hit twice. Some stuff's getting hit 4 times though, isn't it? Different parts of my back and things, biceps, all that. But we need that. So we did the safety bar good mornings. And yeah, that's a 65-pound bar. It's 155 pounds for sets of 15. And I will say these are challenging. And I think people realized that when they started doing good mornings deep themselves or doing high reps, that me doing the one up to 145 for sets of 20 with a normal good morning is actually pretty challenging. And I think we had a couple people comment, yeah, they tried 135, trying it as an AMRAP. They're like, no, not getting 20. I was doing 5 by 20. So now we're doing 5 by 15 with the safety bar. And again, the idea is to build my back. And I am having to do neck training. That's come up too. People are like, you said you're doing neck training to help with this, but I want people to understand I'm only doing neck extensions for the back side of my neck. I am not doing training for the front or the sides because I've told you people it's actually dangerous to do that. And I get it. If you're in a contact sport, you're going to have better health if you go ahead and do that because you're only going to have to deal with sleep apnea, not with concussions. And that's the silliness of training your entire neck. These guys who are doing it trying to get more aesthetic, and then they get a thicker neck, which causes sleep apnea. Well, that's one of the biggest side effects of using anabolics, right? The sleep apnea is a big deal. The restricted breathing, the impact it has on your heart, that's one of the biggest health side effects of abusing anabolics, right? Like, why would you give yourself the side effects of anabolics, or one of the major ones, and only build one muscle in your whole damn body? Like, why wouldn't a person just use the gear and have everything grow? If they're going to suffer the side effects, that's what I don't get. I don't understand that. Then again, none of the guys who promote neck training are natty anyways, even though they might claim to be. So, who gives a shit, right? But over to the point. I don't get that. But I am not training the front or the sides of my neck. I'm only training the part along the spine, the back side of it. And because the safety bar presses on that part of my neck, it can make me dizzy, it can give me headaches, and I'm just trying to strengthen it with really high rep work. It's just that one angle. And it does seem to be helping. These are not comfortable, but it's helping. Because I want to be able to do these because I know my T-spine is a weakness for me. All right, it is a potential weak link on my squat and my deadlift. It needs to be developed. And if that's what I have to do is do a little bit of neck work to strengthen my neck so it can handle me getting stronger and stronger, doing more volume on these good mornings with the safety bar, then that's what I'll do. All right, again, it's doing what we have to do. It's kind of like, as I always say, Louis Simmons will say, well, I know this one supplemental lift will increase my main lift. So if we get strong at that, we know we'll get stronger. But how do we get stronger at that lift? Well, and that's the case of this. I know if I get stronger and do a lot of volume and get stronger and stronger with the volume work I'm doing on the safety bar good mornings, that it will help my squat and my deadlift. I know that. So how do we get stronger at it? Well, I'm going to have to do the neck work to be able to handle it. So we have to look downstream. Because the long term will be that I will be stronger and more well-rounded. And if we know that I need to be doing this exercise to develop a weak link, and my neck can barely handle it, maybe my weak neck is a weak link. Okay? Maybe my neck is too weak in general. Maybe that is a true weak link. Or at least, again, just the muscles along the backside of it. Maybe they are a weak link. Okay? Maybe I do need to be training them. Right? And we have to see everything that way. Because if we have a weak link in an exercise we know we need to do to increase our weak links, that's a weak link. Work on it. Fix it. All right? Don't bullshit around. Fix it. Then we did our hip belt squats. Added a little bit of weight. Went up another 15. It was harder. These sets of 20 are getting challenging as I'm adding a little bit of weight. Now, they were, even with less weight, they were pretty much limit sets when I started. We're going to keep pushing them. 4x20 was tough. I had to go actually foam roll my quads and throw the massager on them after this. They were so pumped that I couldn't stand it. I didn't even want to go to my next exercise. Okay? I didn't want to go to my next exercise. I'm not going to lie. Like I took a break. I had to lay down, work on some other stuff, and I chilled and stepped away for a half hour. And I got involved in a bunch of gossip online that I'm not going to relay here because I'm going to keep in what I've said I'm going to do. This is not going to be a gossip channel. It's not going to be a current events. And yes, I'm aware of the big piece of fitness news that busted out everywhere today. I am aware of it. Discussed it with multiple coaches in private already. We don't need to rehash it on the channel. I'm not even going to make a further mention here. That's it. Yes, I'm aware. We don't need it all drug out. So, but these felt good. But again, that quad pump, wow. Trying to focus on the depth and getting that depth and getting through it. Again, going to make sure I don't have a quad weakness on my squat or my deadlift. Like I said on the deadlift, we could argue what's holding my deadlift back. We could argue it being hamstrings. I think hamstrings is the strongest case. We could argue about T-spine and mid-back, right? Lower traps. Well, that we could argue about that. So we're training all of that, right? We're putting a big priority to all those things. But I feel like the quads are now weak link on my back squat. Okay? They're a potential weak link on the back squat. They've got to come up, and I've got to get strong at the deep position with a wider stance. I need the quads to work through there. Okay? We know that. But looking at the sticking point on where my deadlifts tend to be, could quads contribute to that? You bet. And let me put it another way. Let's assume I'm right on the hamstring being wrong. And I fix that hamstring weakness, and then I go to add more weight, and I stick 3 inches lower than my current sticking point. On a conventional deadlift, if I stick 3 inches lower than my current sticking point, quads become extremely suspect. Okay? Could they potentially be a coming weak link or part of the current weak link on my deadlift? Yes. So we'll kill two birds with one stone. I know, I'm fairly certain they're a limiting factor on my back squat. Okay? Reasonably certain, not beyond a shadow of a doubt, reasonably certain. So we fix it, and it'll probably contribute to my deadlift. It's kind of like we come over to that other point with those good mornings, right? That's a potential weak link on both. Let's just fix it then. Fix the weak links, and you fix the weak links by hypertrophying them, okay? Strength is determined by your 1 rep max, how much weight you can lift for 1 rep. That's not ambiguous, that's not my opinion, and it's not subject to your personal opinion. And I want that to be very, very clear. Your opinion is completely irrelevant on that, so is mine. That is how we define strength, right? Strength potential comes from hypertrophy. If you have a muscle that's weak, what does that mean? It means that muscle is underdeveloped. That is all it means. Okay? If you have a movement pattern weakness, it's probably because you have an underdeveloped muscle somewhere that you need to work on. And yes, sometimes development is part of range of motion. Meaning, yes, there will be parts of a muscle that really only fully get worked or contract maximally at certain points in a range of motion. It's why we do something like this that is very specific to the deep squat and to a wider stance squat. It's very specific to it because we're ensuring that we build the quads with a ton of volume in a way that will carry over to that. But I had to have a break after that. They were lit, but it was a PR. Need to be able to get to 5 sets of 20 with that. I know, right? That's going to be brutal. My glute ham raises, I got 12 on the first 3. I got a little worried though. I did the first set and I took a breather because I just cooled off. I mean, because I'd taken a break after the quad work. And I almost let myself cool down, I think, because I cramped a little bit on the first set. And I'm like, crap, I hope I'm not going to be able to have to stop at 2 sets. Because I got 12 reps, right? And with body weight only on this setting, this harder setting, because I'm working the full hamstring now, right? Getting that deeper knee angle at the bottom. We're working everything. I got 12. For me weighing 220, I'm happy with that. Now, I want to be able to do these against bands or hold plates or chains, right? But it's going to take a little time at this angle. I got 12 though. So it's like I let it rest for a second. I kind of stretched the hamstring out, put it up against them, said, okay, don't cramp on me. Came back, got 12 again. I got 12 on the first 3 sets. Then I think it went like 11 and then 10. 10 was all I could handle. After 10, my hamstrings were starting to cramp a little bit on the last set. But we haven't got 10 on a 5th set ever until now. And we've never gotten 12. And we did it on the first 3. Okay. Hamstrings are adapting. Hamstrings are getting stronger. So I'm really happy with that. It's like, man, we PR'd all this supplemental work other than the safety bar squats, but they're so challenging right now that that's fine. Right? That's fine. I can micro load them up from here. I probably will start adding fractional plates. But we got a rep PR here. We got a mild weight PR, 15-pound PR on the hip belt squat for my 4x20. So we're coming along. We're PRing. Everything is flowing today, right? Some quality work being done until I got to rows. And then my lats started cramping. And that's kind of disappointing, but I get it because I'm doing lat work on all 4 days, and on yesterday's lat work, I really kind of felt that stretch. Those inverted rows, they're really hitting a kind of a different angle in my back. And I've noticed I'm getting lat DOMs from them. And that's normal. It's a new movement. It's a challenging movement, right? And I'm extending and stretching at the bottom. So I'm getting a little bit of lat DOMs. Just like I got delt DOMs again from the upright rows. It's nothing like it was the other day. It's very, very mild, but it is there this morning. Like I woke up and noticed it. I feel like it's largely gone now. It's mostly gone. But when I woke up to it, so that's like, okay, we're getting a novel training response from some of this stuff. And like I said, these went great. I'm like, great, PRs. PRs on 2 of my most important lifts for my quad and my hamstring work. Good, we need more quad and hamstring, right? Oh my God, didn't we get to the rows? Hopefully they're coming up here. I've lost track of what set I'm on in the video above. I think it's the last one. So I started doing the rows. And everything was good at first because I got 5x15 with this weight last time, right? It was challenging because this is a, kind of a weight bump for that sort of rep range because I decided I need to go back up to higher reps. Doing 190 with the axle bar was becoming a grip issue. So I can at least grip this. I get 15 reps and I feel my lats already cramping. Like seriously? So I stretched them a little bit, just pulled on the side of the upright on my rack, pulled myself a little bit, came over, did the second set. I got 15. They were cramping at the end. It's like my lats were cramping up. I had to stretch them again after this set. And then as I'm trying to do the third set, they started cramping after like rep 5 in the middle of the set. So if you guys will notice, I pretty much rest pause all the way through it. I rest pause all the way through the next set after this one just to get my 15. Well, what is it I tell you guys? When that starts happening, you're done. Yes, you may be scheduled to have 5 sets. I was going to try to do 5 sets. But you know what? It just wasn't happening. We got 5 by 15 with this on Friday. We got our 5 sets of inverted rows yesterday, 5 by 12. And this is just all I can handle. The 3 by 15, I'm cramping. It's like when you guys see me having to reset on these, and I don't even know what rep it happened on. We'll see it as we go. My lats cramped. And so I was having to reset to pull it each time. And I'm like, I'm not doing another set. My lats are done. Like when you're cramping like that, we're not getting any extra stimulation. Like we're finished. The muscle's done. And you know what? We got lat work in of a different type yesterday. 3 sets of 15 this deep into a workout. Yeah, right there. I was cramping. I had to start rest pausing. Like you see, I'm having to regrip. I'm having to re-stretch my lats just to get those last few reps. It's like, okay, I'm done. I can't do any more rows. But, 3 by 15 is not bad. It's still a decent workload. Then I decided, let me just finish some incline curls. Because it's like my biceps aren't going to get enough work there. And yes, guys, I know I got loose skin from losing 100 pounds of fat. Deal with it. I'm sorry if some of you dudes are struggling to fap to my physique. You can go look at porn or something if that's an issue for you. Then when you get done, you can come back here and we can talk about strength training. Right? We can talk about getting strong, getting your deadlift up to 600. Now, back over to the point. Incline curls. Why incline curls? As I've said before, they're good stretch position movement. They are one of the exercises that can help make your biceps more resilient to tears on the deadlift. So if you're going to train biceps, you might as well do some stuff to strengthen your connective tissue. Now notice how I do them. We come up immediately. We get a stretch reflex and we come up. We're putting them in a stretch position, getting a good stretch reflex. And yes, I do like 3 different types of curls right now. They all have a very different training response. They're not really hitting different angles. It is a different form of training stimulus. Okay, for smaller muscles that suck for you like they do for me, my biceps suck. We know that. They're hard muscle for me to develop genetically. All right, you may have to look into different training responses. It's just the reality of it. Have to accept that sometimes. So yes, I'm doing a little bit of standing barbell curls, almost cheat curls. I'm doing incline curls for a stretch position. And I do very, very high rep band curls just for blood flow. So, I'm doing a few different types of curls. Maybe it'll help. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.